Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the URC. Now, so far throughout this weekend, it has been a pretty dominant one for South African sides. We saw a big win for the Bulls, a massive win for the Sharks, and a very nice win for the Lions there as well. Now, the Stormers, they come in as big favourites for their game at home up against the Dragons. They make it 4 from 4, perhaps, for South African sides. Looking through at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Stormers, it is Vernon Matongo in the front row alongside JJ Kutsia and also Nedeling Forshare, Andre Smith and JD Schikkeling in the locking duo with the very experienced veteran Dion Fourie at number 6. Marcel Tennyson plays 7 and Evan Ruiz back in the side. He is there. As the number 8, Ahmad Khan will be at 9, so still no Kobus Reinach for this team. Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu again will be the 10. Lelion Zas out on the left wing. Daniel Duplessis at 12. So we actually see a little bit of a change here for the Stormers. We recently saw Damien Valimza playing as that inside centre, but now he has transitioned to fullback rather than Wada Kalant, who will be missing from this team. Ruan now at 13. Siabelo Sinatla as the number 14. And then, like I mentioned, Damien Valimza starting in at number 15 for the Dragons in their starting lineup. It is Jordan Morris alongside Elliot D and Chris Coleman as their number 3. Levi Douglas and Seb Davis as the locking duo. Ryan Woodman, Harry Biddle, and also Harrison Kitty, I should say, as the number 8. Rodri Williams, he is probably one of the most notable names in this Dragons side, with the, I guess, also addition of Rio Dyer. Angus O'Brien will be playing as the 10. In the midfield, Owen and Fatuli Paya in there as well. Jared Rossa and Kai Evans as the number 15. We have got there, hey Hamish, how did your cricket match go? We'll get into that in a very short moment. We've got a little bit still to get through in terms of the technicalities of this game before jumping straight into it. We have got there, Dragons are useless, says Jack, and Stormers halftime, full-time. And what did you think of Glasgow destroying Leinster? For me, apart from Bordeaux, I feel like Glasgow is the second best club rugby teams in the world right now. Yeah, a bit of a surprising result. I thought it was going to be a lot closer between the two sides. Didn't cover the other South African games. The rugby gods are not pleased, says Titanium. There was a very good reason for it, and if you have watched those late live streams on Saturday night, you would know exactly why. It was also brushed upon by Cape Tonian. There was a little bit of logic behind it. The first game, Bulls versus Cardiff. Unfortunately, I was coaching junior cricket. Well, not really unfortunately. I enjoy doing it, but that overlapped with that game, so I wasn't able to cover that one on the channel. The two games that were taking place last night, that was because we had a semi-final on Saturday for my cricket team, and we actually won. We weren't supposed to. We were ranked 4th in the semi-final qualifying, so I half-by didn't expect to be actually playing on Sunday, which is when the final was taking place. But because we did make it to the final, I thought I'd better get a full night's sleep. Excuses, says Titanium. Yeah, I know. Doesn't it suck when stuff happens in real life that I have to do outside of streaming? We have got the hi Hamish, missed you yesterday. How did your cricket go? Says Daryl. We will get into it shortly. You can hear my voice is a little bit gone at the moment. I've been doing a bit of yelling today as a whole, but looking through at the way that the URC table starts before jumping into it, Glasgow sitting at the top of the bunch. 13 games played. They've won 10 of those matches with that massive points differential of 171. That was with the 50 points on the board in total as well. Ulster sit in second, but that can all change in the very near future. If the Stormers even get themselves 1 point from this game, they do go above them. So to get a losing bonus point would be enough for the Stormers. But with the odds, the way that they are supposed to get a big old win here. And they should go right up into second place by the end of this round. In terms of the other teams, the Dragons are the only side that actually sit out there with 12 games played as well. So we're actually in a good position of the URC where everyone's played the same amount of matches. It gets a little bit scrappy early on, but it makes sense now with the games that we've seen that have been completed. We have got there as well. Thanks for your commentary. And so far, it's been a perfect storm for South African clubs. Yeah, 3 wins from 3. And none of them have even really been close either. Like, the Bulls did very well up against Cardiff. Extremely well, in fact, at Loftus. And then, you know, the Sharks to win 45-0 up against Munster. I think that was the big one in terms of results, purely because of the fact that Munster weren't considered as a huge underdog in that game. It was actually, you know, it was supposed to be kind of close, and it just didn't really happen. We have got Sam Prendo, looked very flustered. He was very blowing up at everything that went against Leinster. That Scotstoun crowd gave him some boo. And we're climbing up that log, says Titanium, and at the right time of the season too. You know, these middle patch games, this is where you really make your mark and get towards those semi-finals. Quarterfinals first of all. Although, of course, if you make it to the corners, you want to make it to the semis as well. But this game, 10 minutes away from kicking off, ladies and gents. And like has been mentioned, first game of the weekend of the URC that we have covered on the channel. There will be a lot more URC taking place last week, but as mentioned earlier on, you don't end up in a final every week. Now, just to brush upon it, my performance in the final was pretty abysmal. I didn't bat for very long, didn't get to bowl, hardly fielded anything, but we somehow won. So for the first time, for one of our players, it was the first time in 30 years, maybe even longer, that he can remember that aside from our region has held the trophy that we won. So, you know, it was probably a good thing that I slept, just not a good thing for my batting average because not ideal as a whole. But looking through at the previous results for these two sides, as well as what is to come. Starting off with the Stormers. Looking here, their most recent game was up against the Bulls. They were able to win it 32 points to 19. Now, that was away from home at Loftus just last week. A fantastic win there. As you can see, the Dragons, in terms of the odds, they're given no chance in this game. But that does not mean that they won't be able to put up a little bit of a fight for this matchup. Edinburgh next week for the Stormers. And then that last 16 game of the Champions Cup, it is going to be a pretty tough one. Going to France to play Toulon. We also do see the Bulls. They are away from home up against Glasgow in the competition. So a couple very challenging last 16 games just around the corner. And then, of course, back into the URC. I believe there's also the quarterfinals in that middle patch between the 5th and the 18th. In that department for the Dragons, we did see a draw for them in a couple weeks ago. That was up against Benetton. Then they've got the Lions next week. And then also Stade Francais, who they face in the round of 16. But that is of the Challenge Cup rather than the Champions Cup. So the next competition down, but still some absolutely incredible sides taking part. And that one too, well done. Or worth missing the rugby for, says Daryl. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't sleep deprived because it was pretty warm out there on the field and definitely a lot hotter than it was supposed to be. That Glasgow team is wrecking. Only team right now who I think can block a South African taking the title. Says Titanium that Glasgow win against Leinster will do Glasgow huge confidence given Leinster is on the side of the draw in the Champions Cup and that game is at home. And we have got there, where's the game for me? Not on real, not talking there, says Jaden. So if you're looking for the actual game, it's on URC TV, it's on Super Sport, and also there are a few other options around the world for being able to watch. But if you want your best broadcasting option, you've got to go to the URC website, look at the Where to Watch tab. That will tell you exactly where you can watch in the country that you're from. That's your best bet for being able to watch this one. But currently 7 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. The Stormers, they are sitting a lot nicer on the overall table than where the Dragons are. Now, for the Dragons, this is probably, I would say, the game that either pushes them that little bit closer to a top 8 spot, which, let's be honest, it's getting pretty tough to get there. Let's just say theoretically they get the bonus point win here. That would still only put them up to 13th and still have them 10 points behind the top 8. The Bulls, they have not a lot of breathing room at the moment with Connacht who are right on their back. Ospreys, the Sharks and Benetton all, I believe, have a great chance of still having a little bit of a sniff of that top 8 by the time we get to the playoffs. But next games for all of these sides is absolutely crucial. You see there, Benetton, they are going head-to-head with Glasgow, so that will be a tough game. Connacht up against the Ospreys, they should win that game. That could potentially push them into the top 8, depending on what happens between Bulls versus Munster. Although with the way that the Bulls played, you'd expect them to get over the line in that game. Unless Munster all of a sudden just change the way that they play and can somehow get a massive victory. But it's going to be exciting, this next round of the URC. We're starting to get to that real business end of the comp, as I've mentioned. Still plenty more great games to come. Who is the second best team in the URC right now? Clearly Glasgow is first, says Kahu. I would say probably either Ulster for what they've been able to do, or, you know, you got to look at the Stormers. At the end of the day, they're going to be sitting in second place at the end of this one. And we have got their second best is probably that, says Sash. And Stoke Dragons have 2 wins at least, says Sash. Yeah, they aren't the team that's disappearing from Welsh rugby. So that is probably a massive bonus for them in that department. It looks like a nice sunny day at Cape Town Stadium for this matchup. They won't be a mile away from getting the players out there on the field. Once again, in the starting lineups, for anyone just tuning in now, Matongo, JJ Kutsia, and Niling Forshare as the front row. Array Smith alongside JD Schickerling in the locking duo with Dion Foree, Marcel Tennyson, and Evan Ruiz closing out the 4-pack. As their number 8, Ahmad Khan alongside Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu as their 9 and 10 combination. Lelion Zas, Daniel Duplessis, Ruan Nel, Ciabello Sinatla, and Damien Valimza as the number 15. Dragons got to be a point. Pinata says a titanium there. Well, that's the thing. Every other side that has faced South African teams this round has also conceded a lot of points. And I just, don't get me wrong. Dragons, pretty handy side, you know. They've had some great moments in terms of the wins that they've had. But can they come to South Africa here and really make a statement? I just don't see it. 2-1 for the Kiwis in cricket, right? It's actually 2-2. After South Africa were able to get themselves the win earlier on today, it means that last match is going to be the decider at Hagley Oval. Good afternoon. Did your team win, Hamish? They did, yes. Managed to get the win, which is very nice indeed. Good afternoon, mate. Says Fletcher. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Mario James's prediction is 46-26 in favour of, I assume that is the Stormers. You've got the cheerleaders out there on the field at the moment, entertaining the crowd before the match does get underway. A lot of excitement around this URC competition. The Six Nations is over, which now brings a lot more eyes back onto this competition and also brings a lot more stars back into the competition as well. The Stormers with a win here or any sort of point here would put them into second place. For the Dragons, a win here for them would take them up to 13th. Well done, Hamish. You're a good captain. That's why you won. I'm not the captain of the team, though. Not for the adult team that I'm in. We have got there's a Storm Brewing. Says Titanium. And yeah, the weather is great at the moment at Cape Town Stadium, so handling errors shouldn't be an issue. 61-7 in favour of the Stormers. Okay, so going pretty one-sided in that regard. And Stormers 50, Dragons 14, says Mohadeen. Yeah, no one's given the Dragons a chance, are they? The closest we've seen is a loss by 20 points for the Dragons, so maybe that would be considered a decent result in this scenario. Leinster better be careful. There is teams right below them, says Kahu. That was a pun, Hamish. I know it was. We have got there a bit woozy, but a bit of a party at my son-in-law's. Got to bed at 3:30 a.m., says Fleshin. So, yeah, a bit of a late night for yourself. Gotta love going out in the sun and playing around with a bit of pollen. But both sides about to make their way out of the tunnel. Did you see Munster got 0? I did. That was actually a game that we were going to cover on the channel yesterday. I'm kind of glad that I didn't because I anticipated it to be close and it just wasn't. So it was one of those ones that, you know, the gist of the game was Munster didn't do a lot and the Sharks just kept on scoring, especially in the last, I think it was 4 minutes, they scored 3 tries, something along those lines. Coach should watch How to Train Your Dragon. I kill myself sometimes, says Titanium, and Glasgow versus the Stormers will be a huge game in South Africa, says Kahu. No chance of the Stormers ending first. No chances. It's not impossible, but Glasgow, unless they drop a game that they shouldn't, that's the thing though. Glasgow would only actually be, theoretically, if the Stormers get a bonus point win here, they would only be ahead of the Stormers by 4. But then I do see Glasgow getting a good win next week up against Benetton. There's still, that last game, that might actually be the top of the table clash. 25th of April, that one might actually determine who goes through and who misses out in terms of that number 1 seed. Now, of course, you want that number 1 seed because that will get you the home final if you were to win all the playoff games. So, you know what? Maybe there's half a chance, but I think it's going to have to take some decent consistency from the Stormers, which, you know, unfortunately they have also sometimes, although it's mainly up against South African sides that they struggle, isn't it? They haven't quite gone the best in the South African competition side of things. But Sasha in the 10 jersey for this game, Damian Willems, I should say, at 15. They're in pretty good hands at the moment. Are you doing sevens today, says Mohuddin? I may end up doing a few of the sevens matches to close out the day. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to try and sleep beforehand or not. I've been up for quite a few hours, but in terms of those sevens games, the first one that we might cover is potentially that South Africa versus Kenya women's game, or it will actually be, I think it's the one later on, which is, where is it? Kenya versus Germany might be the first game. That's at 7:55 perhaps. But now ready to kick this one off for the Dragons. And we are now underway. Right. How many minutes are going to pass before we see the first Stormers try, ladies and gentlemen? We almost saw the first Stormers injury already. Someone fell over just off that kickoff. Now this one's going to be kicked high from Ahmad Khan. Oh, and a big drop ball there from Kai Evans. Going off to the left-hand side, Sasha Feinberg and Gumay Zulu looking for the 50-22. And the ball, it's an awkward bouncing one. Goes actually over the head of the number 12 there, Owen. And he's had an absolute shocker there. And it becomes a 50-22. He played all around the ball. Dragons win 47 points to 14. Just the captain of the Stormers. I believe they've gone with Ruan Nell again as the captain. We're going to see the bouncing ball there for Owen, which pretty much was the worst possible way that ball could have bounced. It pretty much went over his head to then go into touch. Now line out throw here. JJ Kutz, yeah, this is a good position to be. Straight away in the early stages of this matchup, straight into the hands of JD Schickerling. And they're going to get the rolling maul going. How are you feeling today? Sleep deprived. Just a little bit. I got a decent rest, but it's been a very long day. It's currently 2 a.m. But I guess that's not really a long day because then the day's only 2 hours deep, isn't it? If you think about it. Now, run there from Evan Ruas, Ahmad Khan. Trying to go on the inside was Tennyson. There was almost a chance to steal there for the Dragons. Big chopping tackle on Niling Fouchier. Now Marcel Tennyson is wearing number 7 for this matchup. Dragons about to start breathing fire. They're about to make about 20 tackles on defence by the looks of it for now. The Dragons a good team. They are second last in the overall standings. Nice grabber. Oh no, Sasha makes the mistake and it goes to Kai Evans who tries to kick this one downfield. But it's gone straight out on the full. Would have been interesting had that one gone in the field of play rather than out. A couple of early mistakes from Kai Evans, although he did get that interception. Sasha trying a little bit of the fanciness there. Evans did the hard work of getting that ball and then just boots it straight out. Will now be the Stormers who have themselves the line out again. Dragons are the best team in the world, I'm guessing, says Jason. And now line out throw for the Stormers. 3 minutes in. I will be honest. Oh, knock on there. Terrible pass from Dion Forri. Unfortunately, it was out in front, and that's going to be a penalty now to the Dragons in the breakdown for no release. Initially, it was the knock on from Evan Ruas. Yeah, pass out in front of him, trying to regather it. Couldn't quite do so. An easy win for the Stormers, says Martin. It should be anyway, shouldn't it? But whether or not it is, could be a different story. See it there, just not quite the pass that Forri would have been after. Even Ruas also looking up, ready to take that collision. It's lunchtime here in Cape Town, Amish. Tuna mayonnaise salad. And Stormers 35-16. That's the closest game we've seen someone predict so far, I believe, other than that 35-26 from Ruth. Now running this one forward for the Dragons. Dion Fourie wanted the steal in the breakdown, and he gets it. So rights is wrong from just a little bit earlier on. Hey, why no score yet, says Bruce? There's a good question. 4 minutes in. And the heavy favourites, the Stormers, they are just still finding their rhythm here. And where Dragons have this in the bag. And was your cricket good? It wasn't good for me. I did very little with the bat. But the team managed to get the win. It looked a little bit shaky in the early stages for our batting, but we managed to get to a decent total, and then they were looking set to be able to go deep in their innings. Not many wickets lost by drinks, and then they just had a monumental collapse. I think they lost 6 wickets for 9 runs, and our bowlers just came in and just took the game away from them. Now JJ Kutsia throws it. The hands of Schickerling again. Rush defence attempted from Rodri Williams. Another knock on from the Stormers though. They will go back for the scrum. And Stormers will win any Super Rugby team. Are they playing them in South Africa or in New Zealand or Australia though, Martin? In that case. Well done, congrats to you and your team. Says Ruth there. And I have arrived, finished eating. Says Anna, so I hope you are doing well. 5 minutes into this contest, it is still 0-0 between these two sides. And good bowling makes it easier for a team. Would be huge for Glasgow if Stormers lose. Says Kahu. Yeah, although we're only 5 minutes in. How much did your team score? So from our 40 overs, we actually managed to not get bowled out, which was a great start. But we got 161. Tough grass wicket. Little bit of variable bounce. And it actually got worse as the day did go on. There were some that were on like a good length that would come through at about maybe 3 inches off the ground. But we survived. New Zealand and in Australia, says Martin. That's a lot of confidence, Martin, when they haven't even been beating South African sides in South Africa. But I assume you're saying they're just a level above everyone else in the world at the moment. We have got their Dragons are dominant already, says Jason. And what games are next week, says Mohideen. 1 second. I actually have a pop-up that will tell you that. There we go. So Sharks versus Cardiff, Glasgow, Benetton, and Leinster versus Scarlets are all taking place on the Saturday morning here in New Zealand, or that'll be Friday night for you guys in South Africa. And then on the Sunday for us here, Saturday for you, it is Bulls, Munster, Connacht, Ospreys, Lions, Dragons, Stormers, Edinburgh, and also Zebra versus Ulster. Pack weights, 902 kgs, collapsing scrum there for the Dragons, who are slightly lighter, but they've managed to survive it. And now a big boot downfield, drop ball, so mark is unable to be called by Sanatla. Will now boot that ball into touch. And the Curry Cup is in May, says Mohideen. And Black Caps are good at the moment, although they did lose just before. So it does mean that that match at Hagley Oval will be 2-2 series decider. Now ready for the line out here. Elliot D. There won't be, at least there shouldn't be, many big opportunities. I remember all South African teams are stronger than all New Zealand and Australia teams, and I feel like the amount of Super Rugby titles won by the different countries really represented that well. Ready for the line out here. Nicely taken at the front of the Dragons line out. Rodri Williams going right-hand side, finds Fatuli Pai. He has been at quite a few clubs. Penalty awarded to the Stormers there. What happened with New Zealand versus South Africa in the cricket? New Zealand lost that one. South Africa were able to win that game, levelling the series at 2 apiece. We're having a braai soon. Annie and I got 9 Kalahari steaks, Boerewors, and homemade burger patties for Barney and Trixie. Did you see any team going to Scotstoun and beating Glasgow? They've gotten some huge results against great teams at home. I think their biggest challenge in the near future is probably the Bulls. If they play like they did at Loftus, they might be really, really competitive. I'm at the stadium, says Gary. It looks like a great day for the rugby. When you go into the cricket game, Wednesday. So that'll be, yeah, that is also Wednesday in South Africa. Now thrown in, Stormers taking it 40 metres out from the Dragons line. Evan Ruas, a 2-man tackle on him. Looking for the steal there in the breakdown, told to get out of it for Levi Douglas. And IH, what town or city are you from in New Zealand, says Imagination Freaks. It's pretty small, So the easiest way of describing it is just halfway between Christchurch and Dunedin in the South Island. Now, big run from Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu, he goes through and scores the try, runs a great attacking line, and the first try of many for the Stormers perhaps in this game. Getting over nicely. He does just find ways of scoring. Broke through the tackle. Now the 16th for him try, SFM, says Gary. And yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Kai Evans. It's now his third mistake of the day. He just slipped over. He overran it. Left the gap in behind for Sasha to be able to just pretty much dawdle through. And kisses the crowd as well, Sasha. In the celebration we have got there, try. And Ruan now is the best centre in South Africa, says Martin. Our Dragons on a roll now, says Jason. And Gatson Dragons defence. And the problem is, there could be a few more of them. But 10 minutes into this contest, and it is now 7-0 for the Stormers side. They do need 4 to get themselves the bonus point to close that gap a little bit more. We've got their Bordeaux versus Toulouse later today. That'll be a big game. I assume both sides will have their Six Nations players back, will they, Jan? And good afternoon, everyone, says Philip. Yeah, I hope you are doing extremely well. I hope you're excited for this game. Sasha Feinberg and Ngume Zulu, not the captain. So not so much pressure, says Daryl. And it does help, doesn't it, not having that burden of kind of being in charge of the team. Trying to get the steal there with the Dragons. Doesn't quite work out. Ahmad Khan told to use it. One's going to be put up high. Chasing after this one. Sanutla just knocks it on. A dragon is a mythical creature. That is correct. And going right-hand side, Elliot D, I should say. It's good defence so far from the Stormers. Not allowing any sort of easy meters. That one's going to be kicked high by Angus O'Brien. Waiting for this one to come down. Nicely slapped back by the Stormers. Although a little bit of work to do. But Damien Willemser gets it away to Sasha Feinberg. And Ngume Zulu goes slow and right up the middle of the field. Nice take from Kai Evans inside of his 22. And that one is going to be in the field of play. That's a good start for Evans. That's probably the first almost good thing he's done. Philip has got the donation there with the Stormers in there. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated, mate. Was inside of the 22. Damien Willemser complaining to the touch judge there. I think he thought they were saying that it was out on the full. I said something mean to you last time I was in here. Just want to say I'm sorry it was uncalled for. Don't know if you remember, but I'm sorry, dude. I actually don't. My memory's got really, really bad since about the start of this year. To the point that I'm forgetting things that are happening like the same week. Which is not good. But like whatever you said, I have no idea at this point. Which I'm sure it was good though. Like as in like a good insult. But honestly, I can't remember it. New Zealand need rugby players. Don't you watch someone Morat? Or don't you want someone Morat? Please talk to the New Zealand coach. Says Martin. Hello from Yugoslavia. And also hello, says Martin. Now, penalty awarded to the Stormers, so they will be able to boot this one into touch. Do you remember me, says Jack? I do. You used to make some terrible decisions with the betting side of things for rugby, didn't you? Hello, Martin. Says Bruce. And yeah, just a drop ball at the front of the line out from the Dragons initially. And he ended up giving away that penalty. Line out throw here for JJ Coetzee. He said your chicken tenders suck. I think he's probably not wrong. The ones in the air fryer that I did ages ago weren't great. Sasha Feinberg and Ngume Zulu going up to Dan Duplessis. Sitting about 10 metres out from the line, but the knock on there from the Stormers. I still do. Says Jack, do you know me, Hamish? I do, Mohadin. I know the regular questions that you normally do ask as well, of whether or not I still like you, or whether I'm coming to your wedding. 13 and a half minutes in. I just seen it there. It was that run from Dan Duplessis. It just snuck Out of his hands. Hello, Roof says Philip there too, but big chance for the Dragons to try and clear their lines a little bit. I never say sorry. Means I done something wrong. Hi, Hamish. Says Sock. Hello, Sock. 14 minutes in. Do you still like him, Hamish? Says Jason. As long as that question doesn't get asked 15 times again. Okay, free kick goes the way of the Dragons. Do you follow the Warriors NRL? I know that they're doing well. I've only watched highlights of their games so far, unfortunately. It's a great rugby weekend. Paul Rus Gymnasium bet Alfies. Right, booted into touch. This one was just a free kick rather than a penalty, which does mean that the Stormers have the option of taking this one quickly, and that looks like exactly what they've decided to do. Sasha will kick this one up high, chasing after his own kick, manages to take it uncontested. Kai Evans was nowhere near that ball. Sounds like I'm just picking on Kai Evans at the moment, but he is doing, unfortunately, a lot wrong throughout this match, although gets into that breakdown, almost on the ball, unable to get the turnover. Who's expected to win this game? The Stormers are expected to win it by about 40 points in terms of the odds, but they have had a few early handling errors, which maybe has stopped them from scoring another try. There was another one, and Markan looked like it was almost a knock-on, but referee says that it was regathered. Now, big chopping tackle there. An advantage for being offside. Sasha going for the cross kick. Goes a little bit too deep in the in-goal area. Almost another mistake there from Jared Rosser. I will only say I like him for the fact I don't actually know him. Is there a big crowd there? There are people in the stands, but it's not full, unfortunately, for this game. But I'd say that that's because there are a few bigger games coming up later on. Nothing mythical about Dragons. When you have a mother-in-law. Nothing mythical about Dragons. As in, like, your mother-in-law, like, breathes fire, right? She an angry lady. There isn't one Dragon who would even make Stormers reserves. Tell me if I'm wrong, says Jack. Oh, to be fair, I don't know some of these players that well. I'd say Win Jones, maybe. Maybe, although he didn't make the Six Nations squad, did he? Win Jones in the end. Reece Curray kicked him out and just had an absolute blinder. Now line out throw here for the Stormers. They're only 5 metres out from the Dragons line, looking for try number 2. Now rolling. A little bit of sideways shuffling going on. In fact, it's more than a sideways shuffle. It's actually a backwards sideways shuffle. They've been told to use it. Markan. Oh, the ball's popped out. It's on the ground, picked up by a Markan. I'm not sure how it got there, but it's worked out and it's gone back to Sasha Feinberg, Mgomaz Zulu, who was not driven dead, and instead he'll get try number 2. Well, that was an interesting try. I don't know how that ball dropped out the way that it did. It kind of looked like a chicken laying an egg. But it was effective. As long as it's come out legally, which I think it would have, because it's gone in a backwards direction. She was indeed, Northern English woman, a real dragon. Says Fleshin. Oh, heel of Sasha was close to the dead ball area there. We might just have to see the replay to make sure that he did get that grounding in time. Yeah, I think that was fine. I haven't actually watched the Sharks game. That was Mapimpi's second try. I haven't actually been able to catch a replay of it yet. Unfortunately, I'll probably have to watch it, I'd say mid next week or early this week for us here in New Zealand now, since it's Monday. That kick has gone over. That's going to make the score now 14 points to 0 in favour of the Stormers. So you're having a little bit of fun out there at the moment, it would seem. Just enjoying scoring tries. Sasha did take a risk and almost paid for it, but Kai Evans missed the tackle. Again, don't mean to single that man out, but he's struggling. Who scored it was Sasha. Managed to get himself the try. Now kicking this one towards the sideline. Go the Stormers, says Craig. Are you going to the guy's wedding who wants you to like him? Says Jason. He's having his wedding in December, so December's quite far away. It'd be a good excuse to go to South Africa, though, wouldn't it? Come on, Welsh, get your lungs moving, says Ruth. Elliot D is just about ready to throw that ball in. I give them a donut, Stormers, says Sakabula. Yeah, I mean, we've already seen so many one-sided games involving South African sides. The Bulls, the Sharks, and the Lions all getting very handy wins. And it's going to be a free kick now awarded to the Stormers. Okay, standing clearly in the field of play. Interesting. Okay, so that's one that you don't normally see too often. It's because LSD was standing inside of the field of play that he has been free kicked. I love the Stormers. Every Springbok want a Stormers kick, says Martin. One's nicely taken by Kai Evans under the high ball, sitting about 22 metres out from his own line. Sanatla fighting for the ball, can't get it. And hello everyone, Stormers all the way. What's wrong with the Dragons? Says Mohuddin. Nothing really, they're just 15th place. Like, they're facing the side that if they win this, they will go up to second, the Stormers. It's just a case of top of the table versus bottom of the table, unfortunately, which does lead to often one-sided games. Okay, referee was really just making sure that the Dragons know that they have to do it from inside of the field of play. Hello, Hamish. Says Byron, welcome in. What's the max points? 5 right, 4 tries required right? Correct, yes. Yep, so 4 tries and a win gets you 5 points in total. Yeah, if you stop at red lights in Johannesburg, there's a good chance you could be carjacked. Says Jason, I wouldn't know. I'm not in Johannesburg. Evan Royce, that looks like a player knocked out there for the Dragons. A bit of a concern. He doesn't know where he is at the moment, and referee has now realised. I know he gives the thumbs up while he's currently not looking the flashiest. Took a nasty knock to the head, so there will be a bit of a stoppage here just while they check out this player. Their 15 is having a bad day. Yeah, he hasn't had a great start here, Kai Evans. In fact, he probably couldn't have had a worse start if he tried in this match. We're going to see the replay now. It's just in the tackle attempt. Oh, he gets the knee to the side of the head for Harry Biddle. Yeah, it's not a nice one. But he gave the thumbs up. Still looks like they're holding his neck in place, though. And it seems like this is going to be one of those situations where they do bring on the stretcher. Currently, the standings, if the Stormers were to win by this margin, they would win and get the 4 points, moving them up to 45 in the overall standings. Glasgow Warriors would be 5 points clear. If the Stormers score themselves 2 more tries throughout the rest of this game, they will move up to 4 points behind the Glasgow Warriors. I like how the Six Nations teams will get to travel to South Africa the week after it finishes. Says Fleshin. Yeah, it's not the most convenient draw, is it? But yeah, it's the way that it's ended up working out. And I mean, Munster, some of their guys, you know, it looked like they were a bit tired, a bit fatigued. They will win, Hamish. Says Bruce, what a beautiful view. Tell me of a better stadium view, Hamish. Says Titanium. Yeah, I mean, not many stadiums have like a big mountain in the background, do they? Where were you, Hamish? Did you see Mapimpi's last try? I didn't, no. I was sleeping during that game so that I could take part in the final for me cricket side today that we've already played, I should mention. So yesterday for us here in New Zealand. And what just happened? Injured player. So we are just waiting for the player to recover. I would say more than likely they're going to end up taking him off of the field on the stretcher. What happened in your cricket match? You won or lost? Black Caps lost today. The Black Caps lost, but our team won, which was quite good. In the end, I was happy enough. Who scored so far? Both tries, Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu. He scored both of them. One of them was a bit more of an individual effort. The other one was the pass assist from Ahmad Khan. And Table Mountain, Signal Hill, Green Point, Cape Town Stadium. Beautiful Amish, says Ruth. Did the ref get knocked down? Not in this game. Stormers are rated higher than England on the world rankings. That's just not a true fact, is it? But the good news is in the Club World Cup, we will get to see who the strongest club is in the world because they will theoretically win that competition. Does Sasha get hurt? No. It's the number 7, Harry Biddle, who is down at the moment. I was getting the feeling you will win your cricket match. Who was man of the match? You contributed also or not? Not at all. I didn't score any runs with the bat. Maybe could be argued that it was a bit of a rough LBW call from what I've heard in terms of like people who saw it, including myself. But that's cricket. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But yeah, I didn't get any runs. But the good news is I scored runs in the semi-final that got us to the final. So I didn't do anything big today. But luckily yesterday or the day before when we had the semi-final, that was the game that I chose to play well in. That then helped us get to the point of playing in the final. We have got the... what did your team win? Did you win money? No, we didn't win money, but we get like a shield, I think. But I don't think we actually get it because in the past, I think they have said that the cups go missing or something like that. Not when we win them. We haven't won it in like forever. But I think they just put our name on it and that's about it. What was the prize for your cricket team, Hamish? Says Roof. Just the trophy or the shield we were able to get. There's a Club World Cup. Yep, it is happening in about 2028, I believe. But now we see Thomas Young making his way onto the field. That is to replace Biddle. There's a relatively long stoppage there, but we're just about to get back underway. Stormers will have themselves the scrum feed. Did you at least shine the ball for the bowlers? Well, I wasn't really fielding in a position where I could shine it. Unfortunately, when it's cricket again, you're playing probably October. I think is the next time that we play. Other than there's like a friendly match for prize giving on Friday. But outside of that, I won't be playing too much cricket for the next 6 months or so. At least $100 should be given to each player. I know that the umpires, I think, get paid for umpiring the game. But we don't get paid for playing it. Ahmad Khan. Going off to the left-hand side, Sasha Feinberg and Zulu. And now to Adre Smith. What's your place in your cricket team? As in, like, where do I bat? I was batting 5 today. But I pretty much bat anywhere between 1 and 6, depending on whereabouts they need me. I don't normally get to bowl, but when I have bowled, I've always gotten a wicket, at least. But, yeah, not normally relied upon with the ball. We've got enough decent bowlers. Get the job done. That one's gone into touch from Sasha. A large petrified tree. South Africa never going to win a Club World Cup, says Cool Story. She says 6 of the Georgian national team and a coach got busted for doping last week. I did. That was a bit of a spanner in the works, wasn't it? In terms of their future plans. I used to get paid for scoring a cricket game. Says Hannah there. To be fair, I think scorers should get paid because that's hard work having to do all the little ticks and whatnot in the book. Good job, says Titanium. Okay, Stormers are the team who have taken that one to floor, but Ahmad Khan, it is there for him again to go across to the left-hand side. Sasha Feinberg, Zulu drop ball from Damien Willems. He's tackled without the ball. It's going to be picked up by the Dragons and grub it downfield, but a lot of pace running back after this one with Lelion Zas. Able to take it down straight on the ball for the Dragons. No, they don't get the steal. Now it's 2-2. Will you go to watch the T20 at Christchurch? I believe so. Yep, that is the plan. And also Sasha playing like a one-man demolition squad. And they'll be slightly disappointed with losing that meterage of Stormers after being only 5 metres out from the line with the penalty. I always got some runs a while ago. Says Bruce. Is your dad going with? Nah, he's going to be working, I believe. So it's probably lucky that I've managed to get the day off. That's a Timu Dragon. Now, Maul still moving in a forward direction, and penalty awarded to the Dragons. Now 35 metres out from the Stormers line and an opportunity to go towards the sideline. Dion Fori getting in the referee's face, asking what that penalty was for. It is, especially when the opposite team scorer doesn't show up till like midday through the game. So scoring for both teams that day. That's hard work. And today, fair to Black Caps. They also played with B-side fair contest, says Coding. Yeah, it does make that last one that much more intriguing, doesn't it? I've seen people blaming me, saying that I was the reason the Black Caps lost because I said I wouldn't mind it being 2-2 heading into the final one. Do you and your dad work together? Yes, we do. Which is why sometimes I can get away with starting slightly later on a Monday. Yes, agrees. Sitting down, ticking off a scorecard of physically draining. High chance of doing an ACL injury, I'm guessing, says Jason. I know you're being sarcastic, but it's not easy doing the scorebook. That looked like obstruction and penalty awarded to the Stormers. Or is it? No, they're still calling it. Seb Davis does score, ladies and gents. That was weird. The way the referee put up his arm and awarded the try, it seemed like he was actually saying that it was going to be the penalty. He put up his arm towards the Stormers. It does look like a bit of obstruction, but it seems like they're happy enough with it. The first try on the board for this Dragons team. They've already done better than Munster. You seem a bit tired. Maybe you need a holiday to Joburg for a nighttime camping experience. Is it just a one individual night camping experience? Because surely jet lag would be a bit of a feature. And that one's gone over. I should also mention it's because I haven't actually slept up till this stage either. Like, I slept Friday night, but we're now Sunday morning here in New Zealand. A nice finish there from Seb Davis. It's what they just have to keep on doing. Keep playing positive here. Don't go into their shell. Just try and take the opportunities that do arise. Doing rugby, also World Cup is the biggest trophy. So I can win. That is correct. Yep, so it is happening next year. That is a knock-on. Clear knock-on from Kai Evans. But it's going to be back on the side of the Dragons. Down the middle of the field. Trying to keep this one low. It's almost must wake up, says Titanium. Now, nice take. Ahmad Khan moving it right. Going back across to the left. Good step from Marcel Tennyson. It's almost must wake up, says Titanium. That one's gone high. And nice take from Lelion Zas. Now pick and go for Audrey Smith. Ahmad Khan. That's all. A grubber attempted there from Ruan. Now kicks it dead in the end. We'll go back for a scrum to the Dragons. You only need one night and one-way ticket. All the best, Hamish. Used any sandpaper while shining the ball, Hamish? No. Although we use white ball, which doesn't normally swing that much for us anyway. Well, you get like a little bit of movement, but you're more so relying on the seam to try and do a bit of the work for you. But no, don't need sandpaper, luckily. Scrummaging Wales, says Ruth. Yeah, they've been under pressure when it comes to the scrums. In fact, what is this? This is a 22 dropout instead, is the option that the Dragons have decided to go with. 2 tries for the Stormers. They need 2 more to be able to get themselves the bonus point. Is it Monday by you? It is indeed, yes. Do you play with some real hard cricket ball? We play with the I guess the normal hardness of ball. I don't think there's like it's just a classic like 156 gram kookaburra. Now go on left hand side. Ball is in the hands of Fatuli Paya. Skip pass on the outside, very close to the sideline. Grub it. It's going to just about stay in the field of play. Beautifully done by Rio Dyer. Waiting for the bounce of the ball. Pass on the inside to Rodri Williams. He's smashed down by Sasha Feinberg and Zulu, and they stop a certain try for the Dragons. That is very well done by Sasha, who is not just doing well on attack, but he's doing well on defence as well. Are you ever hit by a ball? Any injury you can recall? I can recall quite a few. I remember playing in a junior tournament back in the day for kind of regional cricket. And I got bowled a bouncer and it went up under my helmet, hit me in the chin, and then I ended up crowning myself. That was a fun one. That was a wee while ago. I haven't been hit in the helmet or literally in the helmet since then. But you know, other than that, you know, you get the stingers on the fingers, get smacked in the leg, you get smacked in the ankle, smacked in the calf, groin injuries, all sorts. Good fun. I think one of my fingers I broke, but I never got it checked, so it's just now wonky. But that was from cricket, trying to take a dive and catch and not quite getting to the ball and kind of snapping it backwards. Have advantages been reduced time-wise, says Titanium? Not a massive amount. It just depends on who's got the advantage, really. How's the petrol prices in New Zealand? I think it's about $1 more than it normally is at this point in time, depending on where you are, of course. It's a bit embarrassing from the Stormers. Could have been worse had we seen another try there for the Dragons. Because or else it could have been 14 all. It was just that little bit of waiting that Rio Dyer had to do to try and get that ball. Didn't quite sit up nicely for him, delayed them slightly, and then Rodri Williams just swarmed by Sasha. We had ticked over the 30-minute mark. What did you do at cricket? As in like today or just like in general? And penalty awarded to the Stormers. Tell you, got hit in the face with a basketball. At school, nearly broke my nose. It hurt for 2 weeks, says Ruth. All right, Jordan Morris is the man who got penalised yesterday. I didn't do a lot, to be fair. I did a little bit in the field. I did very little with the bat, other than take like hardly any shine off the ball. I feel like they've changed the rule on advantages, says Titanium. Let's go the Stormers, says Anthony. I know they were talking about changing the rule. I'm not sure if it's coming to full tuition yet. Normally they do that at the start or the end of the season, don't they? I'm playing rugby Saturday, says Mohiddin. I'm going to get the fire on the go. Now, free kick awarded to the Stormers again. The Dragons, set piece-wise, just aren't quite doing the job as of yet. We have got their petrol prices aren't the real problem. It's the wages that get me. It's hard currently in Yugoslavia trying to get ahead. You're also just in Dunedin, aren't you? But now this one's going to be a line out here. Stormers will have themselves the throw. More than the money you play cricket for, the fun you love. Is it right? Yeah, I don't get paid to play cricket. None of our team do. I guess the closest I've been to getting paid to play cricket is when we used to do the GoPro videos because they were like monetized YouTube videos. But that's the only time I've ever been paid to play a game of cricket. How's the weather by you? It's quite warm today. But luckily when we were fielding it, it cooled down a little bit. That's a nice slap back there from Sanatla. Now left-hand side, Ahmad Khan goes to Ngume Zulu. Now Damian Valimza trying to get his way through. Evan Ruiz joins the breakdown. Just the 2 tries at the moment here for the Stormers. The Dragons up for the fight. That was a knock-on the ground from the Stormers, but play on is the call. JJ Coetzee tries to fend through for Tulipaia. Over the ball, and the Dragons get themselves the penalty anyway. And Kalahari, English bit of Dutch. Why don't you join the Black Caps? I'm nowhere near good enough to be anywhere near that Black Caps team. Although the only time that I'll be anywhere near them is when I'm watching from the stands. Put into touch by the Dragons. My father's friend was killed by a cricket ball on head, no helmet in those days. Says 63 Sunset. Yeah, it's actually really surprising that it didn't happen more. Like back in the old school days, like I can't imagine facing those quick bowlers without a helmet. And I think that's like one of those things. I've always grown up wearing a helmet and can't think of any other way other than wearing one. It's the same as like I wear an arm guard. Some people say, why do you wear one? You don't need one. But it's all come from when I was playing like junior cricket, that someone in my like regional team, oh, nice step there from Ahmad Khan, but they were playing on a Saturday outside of regional cricket and they got hit on the elbow and it shattered their bones. So I decided from that day, I'm wearing an arm guard. If I get hit there one day, then hopefully it stops a bit of the impact, but still haven't been hit there, but I'd rather have it on. And it's the same with a helmet. You know, I haven't really been hitting the head too often, but if I do get hit there, I would rather have some level of protection. I managed to break my big toe at judo. Not fighting, I did falling up some steps. Oh no. It's not ideal. Steps can be difficult though, can't they? Is a cricket ball hard to score? Sometimes. Depends on the bowler, really. Can cricket also be played with tennis ball? Is it? It is free of injuries, no fear of hitting. People do play it with a tennis ball, and some people will tape half of it so that it swings. But even like my junior team, they're under 13s. Most of them are only 10 and 11, and they're playing with a hard ball. And sadly, they do learn some lessons. One of them decided that he didn't want to wear a box while training and learnt that the very hard way. But scrum feed for the Dragons here, around halfway, 45 out from their own line. This reminded me of Northampton versus Red Bull last night. Huge favourites struggling at home, says Kahu. Yeah, if the Dragons can somehow keep this one close, it would be pretty incredible for them. Like I mentioned, $13 underdogs coming into this game. They were not expected to do well. So you want to go like this. And like that, all grubber in behind. Well cleaned up by Dan Duplessis. Gives it off to Damien Balimza, who kicks that one into touch. Doesn't get a huge amount of distance on it, though. So good territory gain there for the Dragons. Come on, the Stormers, wake up. With all these different heritage, I'm surprised we don't have split personalities, says Titanium. I mean, is it sore? Like if you get hit by it, yeah, no, it doesn't feel nice. Even if it's going slow, you still feel it. But you kind of, in a weird way, you get used to getting hit by one to the point of it will sting. You go, yeah, nah, that sucked, but then you kind of continue on. Now going left-hand side for the Dragons. Popping it in behind. Thought about the short pass, but instead will hang on to it. Stormers have been dangerous in those breakdowns in terms of looking for those stealing opportunities. Stormers are buggering around. Yeah, this game's much closer than people would have thought. And I honestly thought that they'd be close to a bonus point by now. Nice offload up to Tulipaia. In fact, it was Rio Dyer there. Rodri Williams plays the ball from the ground. Kai Evans passes on the outside. Good run from Jared Rosser. Now Williams on the inside. This is going to be a good test for the Stormers defence. 15 out. from their own line. We've seen a few handling errors from the Stormers team already. The Dragons have had their fair share too. Now, big, heavy, hard carry from Douglas. Rodri Williams thought about the short ball. Advantage for offside. Kai Evans looked like he was trying to dodge the ball there. He's had a really strange game thus far. Ball's still there. So Nuttler trying to jump on the ball. No advantage. Sasha offside. Oh no, in fact it was for tackling a player off the ball. The Dragons 11 phases in. Now, Elliot D. Williams. Across to Davis, the last try scorer. There's a knock on from the Dragons. That's a late shot from Evan Ruiz. And now it's all kicking off here. He didn't hear the whistle was the call. Okay, I think that they're just saying there that it was a cheap shot from Evan Ruiz. Referee saying that he didn't hear the whistle, and this is going to be a bit of a warning to both sides. Okay, referees just pretty much said that they don't want Welsh players running in afterwards. 2 minutes 30 remaining here. So they're saying there that maybe could have been a penalty against Elliot D. Okay, referees just had the conversation with Ruiz, saying that he knows he didn't hear the whistle. What you building this week? I think it's still renovations this week for the short amount of time that I'll be at work. And I'm having trouble making coffee. Is it because it's so cold, Robert? I know it was cold there not too long ago, wasn't it? Someone's a charging. I played rugby league for South Africa against New South Wales and Bala. It was the hardest games I ever played, says Martin. Yeah, rugby league's a pretty tough sport. And it's one that I really wish South Africa would get behind. You know, they almost qualified for that Rugby League World Cup. That ball stuck in there by the Stormers. Brilliant rolling maul defence. And now 2 minutes left. It's ended up in the hands of Dion Fourie at 9:47 a.m. Sunday morning. I feel Stormers are sleeping, says Martin. They haven't quite started to find that stride. And this one, just the 14 points throughout this first half against 15th ranked Dragons at home. I'd be probably thinking they've left 3 tries out there at the moment, the Stormers. They've said that the game hasn't quite come alive. Though I think that's also a little bit down to how we've seen the Dragons play. They've been able to shut down certain moves of the Stormers. The Stormers, of course, also having their fair share of handling problems. Now, only 5 metres out from their line here. I was at 4 a.m. gaming. Which game were you playing, Robert, at 4 a.m.? Whereas Glamini for the Dragons, I am not too sure if I'm honest. And now I need a cup of coffee, can't get out of bed without a strong cup. Ball's fed in and another collapse of the scrum. It happened at Loft first half, very missed. In second half they wake up, says Michael. I think even the Sharks, they only, we're up 14-0 at halftime to then go on to win the game 45-0 or something like that. Still 30 seconds left in the first half. And full out 4, says Robert there. Yeah, just collapsing under the pressure there. And the Drags don't win many. They usually make you work for it, says Fleshin. Yeah, I think going into the sheds, 14-7, they'd probably take that, the Dragons. What did you eat? I did actually have some chicken tenders earlier. I said if we managed to win the final that I would be willing, or not so much willing, but I would have to have some tenders. Oh, that's a great bit of work at rolling maul time again. But this time from the Dragons, and that'll be half-time. 14 points to 7. Dobbo better get his big stick out at half-time. Yeah, although maybe a bit of a slow build, like someone mentioned, could be the reason for what we've seen so far. But still a bit of work to do from here, I would say. Just looking through at what is to come as well. What we will be doing, ladies and gents, I believe the first game of the sevens that we're going to be covering is at 7:55 a.m. New Zealand time. So that is 8:55 South African time. We'll get that one scheduled after the stream comes to a close. Position 60% in favour of the Stormers. Seeing 211 metres made compared to the 69 of the Dragons. And Dragons 6 penalties conceded compared to the 4 of the Dragons there too. Fallout 4 will do that, but New Vegas leagues better, says Titanium. And by everyone of the cricket team KFC, I think about 6 of us had KFC. A couple went across the road to McDonald's, and then the others were consuming just pure alcohol, was their method of eating. Dragon Power, let's go over the line. Evan Davis Williams, and Dragons defence pretty solid. Yeah, it's held up throughout this matchup quite nicely. Probably it still was shaky near the start, but it seemed like as this match wore on, they actually managed to get that little bit stronger, which is a pretty big bonus for this Dragon side. But they have to come out firing in the second half, because if they don't, you know, when you just get that feeling like a game could end up just completely one second, we go like this. And like that as well. And apart from Kai Evans. Yeah, Kai Evans had a bit of a rough one, didn't he? Man City are playing a cup final, so might miss the next stream depending on if it goes to penalty time or extra time and penalties. That's up against, was it Arsenal? I think. Could be wrong though. KFC and beer, cheers Hamish. Says Ruth. Was the sevens created so poor countries who can't afford to play 15 or pay 15 players could still participate in a form of rugby? Not really. I think it was similar to what we saw for the T20 side of things, how it was a different type of game. But sevens has been around for a long time. But they just, you know, it goes all right as a whole. And he'll be better in the second half. If he's not, there's a bit of trouble. Yes, Arsenal, my mother's team. Well, that'll be a interesting situation then. One of you will be very happy and the other one won't be wanting to talk to the other one for a little bit. So this is the most boring game of the weekend. Yeah, sorry, that's probably my fault, isn't it? All the other games that we haven't covered have been good. And then the one that I decide to cover, they decide to not quite play their best. Although, closest game too. So that's slightly something, right? Rather than just every game being completely one-sided and one team out of it from the get-go. How much do they pay for the players of sevens? I'm not sure of their wages. But I do know that the RPL made sure that they paid about the same as what they did for the regular seven circuit to the players. So it was kind of discussed as how much they should be paying them. There's still a second half, guys, says Titanium. I need a shrink, Hamish. You up for it? No, probably not. I'm sure you can find one, though. You advertise on like Facebook Marketplace or something. Someone will give you a hand. We have got there. I hope he is a good player. Just an off day, I hope, says Daryl. I've been enjoying this game. I love listening to your commentary, says Hannah. Well, there's plenty more of it to come. It's a weird one. This weekend's been slightly quiet in terms of live streaming, even though we've still done, I guess, This is the 5th rugby union game. But for a weekend for us, that's actually considered as a bit of a poor effort. But it's just kind of the way that it's worked out with schedule. It's not you. I'm watching the game while listening to you. Says Liza. I actually need brain surgery. You up for a Hamish? Yeah, I'll give that one a go. That'll be easier than being a shrink, won't it? Although I haven't got a very steady hand. Why is it boring? Because the Dragons are making a game of it and not rolling over, says Fleshin. I think that might be the reasoning. Yeah, they're doing all right here, the Dragons. They actually, if Rodri Williams had scored that last try, they would have been well and truly in this contest. Now, coming up short there, I think would have hurt their confidence just a little bit. But I think they'll still be happy enough with what they've been able to do out there on the park. And they're still right up for it in this game. It could still theoretically go either way, which is good. You know, we want a closer game. The thing is, the Stormers will still want 2 more bonus point tries, or 2 more bonus points to get them. 2 more tries to get them the bonus point. We got there in the end. That is fine. You needed your sleep for your cricket final, so it is fine. Your well-being is more important, says Hannah. Yeah, last night there was no rugby for me, says Robert. And yes, miss you yesterday. I didn't think I say that to a podcaster, says Daryl. And the weird thing is, like I said, we still did a few matches, but because we've done so many in the past, having like a whole day where we don't have, or like a whole session of rugby where we don't have anything on, like it's a weird feeling for me as well. I was like waking up in the morning going, like I've actually slept for more than 2 hours this weekend, was something that felt a bit weird. I ended up listening to it in Afrikaans. Says Daryl, is there Super Rugby game next week? There certainly is. 5 matches going to be taking place, although the weekend after that there's only 3, I believe, because of it being Easter weekend. One of those games is Fiji and Roa versus the Crusaders, which is actually going to be the last game at Apollo Project Stadium. I'm actually going to be in Christchurch that weekend too. Not to go to that game, but more so just to visit some family. Still will have the live streams over the weekend though. I think I'm going to be set up in someone's garage doing those ones. But we'll get them done. If anyone's wondering why you can slightly hear clicking in the background, what I've been doing during this halftime break while waiting for the second half to start up is I've actually been scheduling the Sevens live streams that are coming up in the near future. We have got there, Hamish, I decided to watch a Chuck Norris movie without you, Delta Force. I have never seen it. In fact, I'm not sure. This is going to be really not a great statement. I don't think I've seen a Chuck Norris movie. I don't think I've watched it. Although, to be fair, I've hardly seen a movie, as some of you guys know. We seem to have missed all the good ones. What you doing for Easter? Seeing some family. So uncle's coming over from Australia with his family. And then my other uncle's up in where we're going. So we're all heading up there. And I think that's the main plan. I'm not sure what else is happening. But once again, still doing the live streams throughout that weekend too. So you'll see some random background, unless I might be able to bring the green screen with me. They don't have to roll over, but there's hardly any coherence from both sides. Too many stops. You watch Super Rugby games, you understand. Says Liza. And also, I think I know what is going on. And Geo, the Kiwi team struggled to win there this year, and the Australian teams win there because of travel. You haven't watched the Chuck Norris movie? Unsubscribed, says Pender. Yeah, I don't think so. Not that I can think of. I think was he in, did he go in the WWE at one point? That may have been the only time that I've seen him. When I was a lot younger. But I wouldn't even be able to name you a Chuck Norris movie. In fact, there's a lot of actors that I wouldn't be able to name their movies. I'm terrible at watching movies. Do you play Ark? Me and George, way back in the day, did play Ark. But then we actually had a series on it as well. Then there was a big dinosaur that came close to our house and we knew that it wanted to kill us. and we got scared, left the game, and never reloaded it. That was like 3 years ago. But yeah, we were playing it, but then we just didn't know how to get rid of a big dinosaur. So we went, oh well, can't get us if we don't play anymore. What? No Chuck Norris films? Not even The Way of the Dragon? Never even heard of The Way of the Dragon, if I'm honest with you. Can I ask something? It better not be Do You Like Me? Because you've asked that many weekends in a row, Mohadeen. We normally give you the same answer. When the eyes of the ranger are upon you. I assume that's like a quote, right? Texas Walker Ranger. I haven't seen any of them. Are they on Netflix? I do have a Netflix subscription, I believe, so I could go on there and watch all the ones that I'm supposed to. But yeah, the list of movies that I haven't seen is definitely a lot longer than the list I have seen, unfortunately. And Dragons blowing huge opportunities, to be honest. Yeah, well, they haven't had a huge amount of them, have they? They've probably had, I'd say, 3 really good try-scoring chances that they should have got. When is Etzebeth back? I think it's not a mile away. I think it's just around the corner from Etzebeth's return, because I think he's almost served his suspension, or he's got like 1 or 2 weeks left. I don't really watch movies, says Hannah. You're making us feel very old, Hamish. Well, like new movies as well, I'm the same. So like it's not just like the older school ones. Like it's just movies in general. I'm terrible at sitting and watching. You'll be back in April, says Liza. So yeah, it's only a week or 2 away, isn't it? And how old are you? I'm 26. How's the tempo? Says Josie. There's been a few stoppages in this one, which has actually meant that it's a little bit easier for the two sides. Like, I don't see either of them getting gassed out for this game. Definitely with the fact that this game's not being played at altitude, which is quite handy for them, I would think. Bruce Lee film, he fought Bruce in a great scene, YouTube it. Okay, I've also never seen a Bruce Lee movie, unfortunately. I feel like I'm just seeing how many people I can offend with my lack of movie watching during this halftime break. The good news is second half is not a mile away from starting up, ladies and gentlemen. Before I dig myself an even bigger hole, I will probably miss some of your live streams during Easter as I'll be traveling. Says Hannah, that is understandable. And yeah, I think that a lot of people will be having their plans for the Easter weekend. Hopefully people will be able to have some time with the fam and whatnot and be all raring to go. Do you have HD? Is that like double HD? Is that better than just normal like HD? 1 second, we'll go like this. And like that as well. Is there URC Easter weekend? There is not. There's Champions Cup and Challenge Cup though. Bruce Lee is overrated, says Pender. And also, I've never seen a Bruce Lee movie or a Chuck Norris film. Dragons doing very well. Yeah, they're keeping it close, which, again, is what they had to do in this contest. The last thing that they could afford is to just let the opposition get on top of them. But that isn't what they're doing. DD is better than HD. No Chuck and no Bruce, it's almost criminal. Who would be the third one in that, like, trifecta that I should have seen at least one movie of Fleshin? I feel like I might as well find out if I can completely offend you or whether I have 1 out of maybe 3 ticked off. I will mention second half has now got underway, ladies and gents. It is a line out here for the Stormers. My URC TV hadn't actually started up the second half. It just had it frozen on like a highlight, so I thought we were still waiting. But no, we're back underway, ready for another contest. Ahmad Khan kicking this one up high. Dragons down by 7. A bit of work to do here if they want to find a way of winning. Good bump off from Jared Rosser, who's run the ball hard throughout today. If that is the third one, Magento and Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's the guy with the ponytail, right? Who does like some kung fu movies? Is he the guy that that guy, right? I hope. Penalty to the Stormers. It was Dion Foree. Managed to get that steal for the Stormers. Oh, was I thinking of Steven Seagal? I might have been thinking of Steven Seagal. Looks like the Stormers, they're actually going to have a shot at the posts here, which is something you don't see too often. Okay, I haven't seen a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie because I was thinking of Steven Seagal. 2 from 2 for Sasha. At this point in time. He's just swaying left to right here, Sasha. Looks very cool, calm, and collected. Strikes the ball. And does get that one through. So that'll make the score 17 points to 7 now. In favour of the Stormers. So just extending that difference between the two sides by that little bit more. Stormers need constant wins and Glasgow needs loading game. Yes, it will be interesting because those two sides still have to play each other. And that one is going to be played in South Africa. Where is this played? It is in South Africa, in Cape Town for this game. Kicked off now. And Evan Ruiz, not a lot of space to be able to work with that ball. He didn't score a try in the first half. In fact, no one did except for Sasha for the Stormers team. Which I think is possibly a little bit surprising, but at the same time, Sasha did get the double. I feel like he made up for it a little bit. That one's going to be kicked downfield. Nice take from Kai Evans. He did a much better second 40 than the first. Have you never heard of Jean-Claude Van Damme? Have you really lived through action movies? No, not really. I haven't really lived through movies in general. I do need to watch a lot more. Mistake there from the Dragons. Damien Valimza, that's a terrible offload. Tried to pass it on the inside. Tried to be maybe a little bit too fancy with it. That means that the Dragons, their rough cross kick, get a bit of a lifeline from it. Did you watch The Expendables? Is that the one with Steven Seagal in it? I don't think so. Unless, if that is the one with the bloke with the ponytail, which I believe to be Steven Seagal, I think Dad may have been watching it way back, and I may have seen like a second of it. Maybe he was fighting someone in like a dojo. Does that ring a bell? Are you Hamish? No. Now scrum feed here for the Dragons. Just checking. We've had quite a few scrums. And that is going to be the penalty. That sounded like a few swear words were being said in said scrum. It is going against number 1. So another penalty against the Dragons. And Stormers, again, are just going to tick over the 3-pointer. I don't really watch movies, says Hannah. And who could take a stranger called Julius in there? You're going to see it there, though. It was the scrum feed for the Dragons, so that'll be the frustrating part for them. And they're just talking about that scoreboard and time pressure. Were you raised in a religious cult? Not that I know of. Expendables, Stallone from Rocky, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Mickey Rourke. Okay, I haven't actually seen that one. Oh, Sasha's not happy. He's just thrown the tee. And I'm not sure what. Oh, knocked on by the Dragons in goal, though. So that is a big mistake there from this Dragons side. And it will become a 5-metre scrum for the Stormers. This is actually a better position to be on the field for them than maybe they initially were. It just dropped by Rodri Williams. 3 scrums, 1 for both sides. 1 lost by the Dragons. One of the more experienced heads of this Dragon side as well. The one who did end up putting it down. That's my evening sorted. Ropey Old Martial Arts Films. What do you do here if you're the Stormers? I think you give Ruiz a crack. Take him off the back of the scrum. Definitely with the penalty advantage. He's going to run it now. Evan Ruiz runs it high and he's passed it off to his teammate. I think they want to check this one to see whether or not Marcel Tennyson has got the ball down and whether the pass was legal to him. I see Dragons home already. They're terrible. I think they're doing all right here. It could be much worse for them. Okay. They're checking to see if there is a... Yeah, no, that's a knock-on, I believe, from Evan Ruiz. And then picked on, or picked up, I should say. They're checking to see. It looks like a knock-on. Not forward, so it will be no try. And now the Dragons will have the scrum feed 5 metres out from their line. Again, surviving the Stormers' attack. Okay, South African commentator wants that there should have been an advantage for the Stormers at scrum time. Now the Stormers must get a try. Says Martin. You're narrowly missing out. I feel like we're about to see this front row go up again. Jean-Claude versus Bolo, epic scene. Never seen it. Sounds like I've got a lot of homework to do. Oh, that's a big scrum by the Stormers, but the Dragons still pop out with the ball. Good run forward from Harrison Kitty. Score Stormers, says Martin. Fabulous job. Now Dragons fullback, fight back again, says Ruth. One goes into touch. Blood Sports the first. They're just having to survive again. There will be another attack coming from the Stormers team. They're still confident that they can get themselves 2 tries later on. They are still talking about that scrum, saying that it should have been a penalty advantage to the Stormers. That scrum happened 2 minutes ago. Now the Stormers attacking again. Leon Zas with the step. He hasn't got the pass away, and that was a knockout on the ground from Zas. And again, it is going to be the Dragons with the 5 metre scrum out from their own line. No idea who they... Ron, Jeremy, and I don't even know how to say that. Is it Tyja or Tiger? Is it Tiger maybe? Might be Tiger. Was a good-looking guy in kickboxing or kickboxer American, says Ruth. Right, Untatuka Machunu. He will make his way on. And also Paul de Villiers comes on for Dion Fourie. 49 minutes in. Seeing those changes being made here. JJ Kutsia also off for Andre Hugo Finta. Just saying there, Paul de Villiers, 6 tries so far. Be another one around the quarter too. This game got no fire, says Martin. It seems like the Stormers are destined to score, but the Dragons are just getting just enough. It's a big push there. Stormers with Evan Ruiz. He's over now. And the try is scored for Evan Ruiz. Hey, Jason, you're pretty good. Know your stuff, says Ruth. That is brilliantly done. Evan Ruiz. That was a huge shove, and it actually seems to be when the Dragons have the ball, that's when the Stormers are their most dangerous, trying to get that counter-attack going. Done it again there. Try. Says Ruth in there as well. And Evan Russ gets that one down. It's just a very solid push. It would have been their advantage anyway, but now Sasha hasn't been as confident kicking from this side of the field. Although he has got that one over, bringing it back from left to right, and that makes the score now 24 points to the 7. Still 30 minutes remaining in this matchup. Plenty of time still remaining. Holy heck, they slayed the Dragon in that scrum, says Titanium. Happy to see all 4 South African teams winning this weekend, says Rudy. And yes, the Stormers, says Martin. Oh, chasing after that one hard for the Dragons. Going up for it. Rio Dyer manages to get the possession. Amir Valimza, he's going to struggle to roll out of there, but he has done incredibly well. Looks like Rodri Williams has actually been taken off the field. And that is going to be for Niall Armstrong. Oh, there was almost a knock on. In fact, it does become one. Seb Davis has a bit of a fumble. In life, it's all about adapting and dying. Says Ruth, the advantage is now open for the knock-on. Lelion Zas goes back across to Andre Hugo Fenta. And find his way through. And a penalty awarded to the Dragons. Not releasing is the call. Sounds like the crowd well and truly getting behind the Stormers team here. I think Norris was, never heard he got a girlfriend. Says Martin. I blame the ref for the weakest team losing. Thanks, Evan Russ, says Martin. Go on, do something Welsh, says Ruth. Yeah, if they want to get a try, if they want to get a chance in this game, they have to score pretty much now. Big attack and run straight through the middle. Brilliant defense there. And almost getting held up. Evan Ruiz diving straight in off his feet. That's pretty illegal from him, but luckily didn't end up giving away the advantage. They are just short. Stormers being told to leave it. It's a chance to get held up here. Coughlin reaches out. Again, just short. Close to the try line. Rolls over. And the try is scored by Thomas Young. And the Dragons are now back in this game again. They just don't seem like they quite want to give up at this point in time. Thanks, Evan Russ, says Martin. They were short initially. Thomas Young is allowed one movement and he rolls over the try line after not being held. Short initially for Coughlin. It was brilliant work from Untatuko Machunu. He regathered it before the knock-on could have happened. And we have got there, where are you from? For Ruth. Angus O'Brien, he's sitting 1 from 1 today. And the kick has gone over, making the score now 24-14. Favour of the Stormers still. They are up by 10. But again, this Dragon side just have a little bit of fight in them, which they need. They've still got another 25 minutes or so to play. And the second half has been played at a little bit more of a higher tempo. And Hannah, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. Here's Ruth. And Ruth from her parents. And I think Andre Hugo Fenta is the most overrated player in South Africa. It's quite the statement, isn't it? Kicked off now by Sasha. Taken by Kai Evans. 2-man tackle on him. Almost ended up falling the wrong way. Stormers going for a bit of a counter ruck, but the penalty awarded straight and off their feet. Just where the game's being played. About 15 minutes drive from me, says Ruth. And it's against Damien Willems, although there were about 3 Stormers players who did end up flopping forward there. Again, the Dragons able to clear their lines, kick it towards the sideline. They have to make sure that those feet are behind the line when they're doing that line-out throw. Something that the referee has actually already penalised them for in this contest. Three, 4, and 9 all making their way off now. So that is going to be Steven Ngura makes his way on. Also, Niddling for Shear will make his way off for Sunday. And Ben Jason Dixon, I believe, the other man on. He's got his bright red headgear. You can spot him from a mile away. Dragons with ball in hand. Being told to use it, back into the pocket. Kicked high. And straight into the sun. Not an easy catch for Similani, but he's done nicely. Actually, one of the first times I can remember that man touching the ball in this game. But inside of their own 22, they look like almost a forward pass from Evan Ruas to Untukutoko Merchunu. That ball loose. Does come off a boot. And in fact, there's going to be an advantage now in favour of the Stormers. So they'll go back into the pocket. Sasha thinking about a little cross-field chip taken there. So they will go back for the penalty. Who grubs are the biggest grubs, says Jason. And Cape Town is the capital city of crime in South Africa, says Martin. And only 10 behind Wales, you can do it, says Ruth. It's going to take a big effort, that is for sure. The penalty count starting to mount up a little bit here. Sasha kicks that one out. Nine penalties in total, they've said. Cheerleaders are still cheering. The stage 2, yeah, just not back on side at the time where he tried to play that one, Levi Douglas. Didn't quite get behind the hindmost foot. 30 metres out from the Dragons line, the line out for the Stormers. And Andre Hugafenta needs this one to go well. Oh, miscommunication here. Taking too long. They almost got themselves in a bit of trouble. Okay, there was a bit of confusion about numbers there for the Stormers pack, but they are setting up for a rolling maul with the amount of players that they've chucked in, although now offloading out the back. Beautiful pass from Steven Nkura. Dan Duplessis, 2 metres short of the line. Trying to get back on his feet there for the Dragons, unable to do so. Evan Ruas back across. Sasha sells a dummy. He's wrestled down by his collar. Looks like there is an injury here for one of the players. It is Kai Evans, who was slow getting back up to his feet. That's close to rolling over, but it is held up and it's a goal line dropout. They've said it again. The visitors' defence in this game. The Dragons just do not want to give up in this contest. They want to keep on fighting for every little bit that they can. But again, it's just not easy. Number 4 for the Dragons. Sounds like he is about to make his way off. One second, we'll go like that. There we go. But Douglas makes his way off of the field. So just after giving away a penalty as well. That's the worst time to get subbed because you feel like that's why you've been taken off. Even if you were going to be going off anyway. 22 minutes now remaining. We just see the set play. That was the perfect pass from Steven Nkura. He couldn't have found the gap any better for Dan Duplessis. It was just their last-ditch effort. It was just enough. Jesus best eaten at room temperature. Poor old Kai, you really are putting the bad eye on him. Although that one was because he was injured there, but he's been better in the second half. He does still look like he's slightly feeling that injury, though. He's got the hands on the hips and he's looking like he's struggling. Oh, why does white bread have a brown crust? Says Jason, because of like it becoming crust. Now going to the right-hand side. You have to cook it on a very, very low temperature, wouldn't you, to try and stop bread from getting any sort of browning on it. Wide cut-out pass from Sasha. It's rolled his backwards. Similani kicking this one in behind. Bounce of the ball. Not good there for Dyer. And Similani finishes it off. Anytime it's close to that far touchline, the bounce has been very rough for the Dragons. But that beautifully sits up for Similani. And he scores the bonus point try here for the Stormers team. This is why I moved to Johannesburg, says Martin. We're going to see the replay now. This bounce for Rio Dyer is, look at that, just goes right over his head and actually ends up clearing him, goes back to Similani. All he has to do is just wait for it. Rio Dyer, he was pretty quick reacting to the fact that it was going over his head. But now Sasha with a kick. Bring up the 30 points here for the Stormers. Oh, he slipped over. And that one's missed away to the left-hand side. I think that one you can probably not blame him too much with the fact that he slipped. 29 points to 14. I said there that George Dyer, oh sorry, not George Dyer, Rio Dyer had it quite well covered. But the ball didn't want to go into his hands. Dan Duplessis from inside of the 22. Now with that bonus point secured for the Stormers, they can do whatever they want here. All they have to do is just close out this game with the victory. And that is 5 points. That sums up the Dragons. No luck whatsoever. Says Fleshin. Yeah, I don't think Dyer could have had a worse bounce in that scenario. There's a knock on there from the Dragons again. Now Sasha Feinberg and Gume Zulu thought about the short ball, running it himself here. Thought about offloading on the inside, but they read him. And Fatuli Pyre, I should say, smashes him into touch. Hey lads, how's it going? Says Big Rig. It's got a little bit more eventful in the second half. It was close at halftime. Stormers now starting to find their way around. Sasha, big smile on his face. He knew that maybe that wasn't quite the play. And we have got their lad, says Jason. I assume he's referring to not just myself, but also the chat as well, Jason. Go on left-hand side. About 3 men here in the wide channel. And lads, says Big Rig. A bit of cramp for Sasha. Quick hands from the Dragons. Thought about an offload there. Wyn Jones just didn't quite have the man in support. Left-hand side, O'Brien tries to cut inwards. Still 40 metres out. I got pizza. Oh, I do like a bit of pizza. That was a forward pass. It will now be the Stormers scrum feed. And no worries, another 15 minutes. How has Sasha played? Feels like he is always under a microscope. He's had a solid game. He scored himself the first 2 tries of the match for the Stormers. Has been involved in quite a few of the other moments throughout the game as well. But I can already see the headlines. They're going to be once again saying best 10 in the world after getting the double up against the Dragons here. He'll just be hoping he can continue that form into Toulon. How can I tell how long I subscribe but not a member? Oh, that's a good question, Robert. That I'm not sure of the answer to. Can I see that information? Surely I can see that, right? Community. Can I find when you last commented? When was the last time you commented on just a random video, Robert? Oh, another penalty. That is for the collapsing of the scrum. I had to scroll back. Oh, there it is, Robert. It says you're a member for 2 years, 10 months, but sadly doesn't tell me how long you've been subscribed for. I don't think. Final URC match at DHL Stadium, sorry. Come on, boys, we can do it, says Rudy. There was like 6 months I didn't say anything, says Robert. And Proteas cricket is bad. Well, they just won the match up against the Black Caps. So 2-2 going into the last match on Wednesday. Sasha passing across to the right. Dan du Plessis, massive knock on from Lilian Zas. And again, this is just giving the opportunity for the Dragons to come back into this game a little bit here. Penalty awarded for not rolling away in the breakdown. Oh dear, says Ruth. What happened to Munster? They just really didn't turn up. Proteas is chokers. Says Martin. Yeah, although they're doing all right up against the Black Caps, they're sitting 2-2. At the moment, that's a good kick. That's a great kick, in fact. Probably only 10 metres out from the line here for the Dragons' line-out move. Well, he's conceded. That is the first penalty against the Stormers since the 55th minute. Then the Dragons have actually conceded the 2. Did you do Sharks Munster? I did not. I ended up sleeping through that game, although I did think it was going to be a close one, which was just the complete opposite of what it was, but yeah, ended up sleeping through it so that I could be well rested for my cricket final. Going right now for the Dragons. Are you doing the next game? Seattle Seawolves versus Stormers 13? Is that an actual game, Arthur? I didn't even know that one was happening. Oh, a big collision there. For Tulipaia wrestled back towards his own goal line. Another tackle. That was Ryan Woodman. No advantage here for the Dragons. Not rolling away for Andre Ugafenta. Those Dragons don't go away with way. You definitely have to work for a win. Says Fleshin. Now short side. Nice stepping from Jared Rosser. He's impressed me throughout today. He's probably been the pick of the players for this Dragons side. So the Dragons win from here. What do we do? Well, the Stormers would be very frustrated. I can say that right now. I love to say in New Zealand, but the All Blacks play bad rugby. I think you're still allowed to stay in New Zealand even if you don't watch the All Blacks. That's going to go into touch. They'll go back for the penalty again. I'd be so happy to see all 4 South African teams in the playoffs. Says Rudy. Yeah, the unfortunate thing, though, is some of them have almost stopped each other from going through. Like, for instance, because the Sharks were beaten by a couple of South African sides, that kind of dropped them down that little bit more. Yeah, Andre Ugafenta not on his feet. And we have got their Stormers. We need this. Says Rival. Yeah, we'd put them up to second place in the overall standings. And in fact, even if they were to lose this game, the Stormers, it would actually still put them as second place because of the bonus points. Stormers 23. I think after this game, I once again, I haven't actually heard that game was taking place. Maybe we don't get that information here in New Zealand. Do you know where it's being shown? One second. We'll go like this. We'll click this. We'll go on the Stormers. Okay, they've got their main team thing, but they haven't got anything about that other game by the looks of it. Unless I can't find it, of course. I stand up and fight Dragons in around 2017 I started watching. So that was actually, wait, 2017? That was before we were even doing like anything rugby related, Robert. That would have been back in when we only had snowboarding, I think, on the channel. Maybe. A line out throw, 5 metres out from the line for Coughlin. Oh, that was an aggressive line out. Goes straight into the hands of his lock, though, and they've knocked it on. It seemed like it was a bit of a risk going for a bullet pass to the front of the line out. A green from South Africa. Says Gert there. Nice take. Okay, they're going to go back, though. 13 minutes remaining now on the clock. Again, they have got the bonus point. They don't really need to do anything too crazy here. They can just close out what would be a solid enough win up against a valiant Dragons effort. Or they can look to be a bit more aggressive. Keep on trying to score tries throughout this last 13 minutes. I think the maximum was 47 people watching. As in like 47 views on the video, because I don't think we had a live stream till 2020 or 2021, I think was our first live stream on the channel. Greetings from the UK, says Big Rig. Whose ball it is, the Stormers scrum feed. Not anymore, the All Blacks are weak now. Today, says Martin. All's fed in. Trying to get that penalty advantage, and they do get it there for the Stormers. Women's Six Nations in 3 weeks. Ireland versus Italy kicking it off. 3 weeks. So that's the week after Easter, right, Big Rig? If that is the case, we may be able to cover some of it. That's around when I gave up on American football, says Robert. Women's Six Nations, says Titanium. And 11th of April. Okay, so yep, the week after. That could be quite handy. That one hasn't found touch for the Stormers. Dragons decide to send it back aerial. O'Brien. Oh, knock on there from the Stormers side, but picked up cleanly by the away side. I'm judging it, says Robert. I remember you have an open invitation, Amish, says Gert. I did get invited to a wedding the other week. That's in December. Is December a good time of the year to go to South Africa, or are you better off going at a different time? For Tuli Paya, his ankle's chopped out from underneath him. Skip pass out wide. Rio Dyer goes for the chip in behind. Great pace shown by him. And again, the ball bounces so awkwardly. Sasha wants the TMO check here as he feels he got it down first. Dyer's claiming the try. But if he hasn't scored this Rio Dyer, again, the ball just seems to be avoiding him. 2:25 a.m. in New Zealand time, I'm afraid, says Big Rig. Yeah, but that's, well, I mean, it's 3:37 a.m. at the moment here, and we're still up. Come on, the Dragons, you can do it, says O'Hain. Right, again, an ugly bounce for Dyer. Had to change his direction. Who has it first? Was it Sasha? Yeah, it might have been, actually. I think it was a simultaneous put down, but Sasha thinks that he got the first touch here. And he might be right. Yeah, he does. Sasha Feinberg Zulu gets that one down first. So Dyer's day of Dyer bounces continues. December as in South Africa, says Jason. It is extremely hot in December. And Hamish Place is packed with visitors, says Ruth. Who won that USA team against the Stormers D team, says Martin. I didn't even know they were playing. Someone said that it might be happening later on, and Ahoy H says Juan. Welcome in. They've shown this replay 15 times, but Sasha's got his hand to this first and pushed it down, and then Dyer gets the grounding. It happens all so quickly, though. It's only like one phase, one frame, I should say. So we have all four of your channels still, says Robert. Okay, it's going to be no try. And it will be the goal line dropout. France versus Italy, followed by England versus Ireland, followed by Wales versus Scotland, all on the 11th, says Big Rig. So maybe if it doesn't overlap, England versus Ireland would be one that I'd be potentially looking at. Spyro will be sad. Again, Dyer, just, you can see the frustration on his face. Fleshin, is there a magnet in the ball, missing the Dragons touch? Oh, all the players told to get back in behind. It's almost want to go slightly early for that goal line dropout. They're keen to get their hands back on the ball. Here comes a big run back. What's up, says Xander. Welcome in. Oh, sits down. Paul de Villiers dives straight in off his feet in the breakdown to try and win that penalty after not quite making the tackle he was after for Tulipaia. In fact, no, he's gone off the field now. Kicked him behind from O'Brien. Awkward bouncing one. Sasha takes it. Gives it off to Damien Valimza. running sideways at the moment. Bit of a counter ruck. And back to the right. Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu. Attempted grubber. Almost turned into a rolling maul there. And I made a bet on the Dragons that they will take the win, says O'Hain. That was certainly optimistic. Can I hear talking to her? Because this game is Dragon giggity, says Robert. Bouncy ball, and that's going to be the penalty to the Dragons. Overran it and took out Kai Evans. They must have killed a black cat or something. They deserve better than the scoreline, says Fleshin. An idea, says Ruth. First live stream was 2nd of October 2020, says Hannah. And that would have been an NPC stream, I believe. Or was it? Might have actually been a rugby challenge stream. Talking typo can. And wild how time has flown by, says Big Rig. In this game or just like in general? Because both have gone quite quick, haven't they? Thrown in by Coughlin to the front. Now, nice inside ball. Dyer deserves a try for how hard he has had to deal with that bounce today, but he now scores it. And now it gets them back into this game again. It was Mitre 10 Cup, says Hannah. I bet the house on the Dragons I will be upgrading to a mansion very soon. And 2020 doesn't feel like 6 years ago. Yeah, it's actually kind of weird to think about, isn't it? That we went through, like, since 2020, we had a global pandemic. And now, you know, like I remember that British and Irish Lions tour in South Africa, how weird it was to have empty stands for a British and Irish Lions, like, test match. That one's gone over. Now, 29 points to 21. Back into territory where the Dragons can try and push for a bonus point from this contest. It's a very strong inside ball. A great try being scored. I remember when they put cardboard cutouts in the stands to look like people. It was freaky. Says Big Rig, yeah, and the fake crowd noise. Fake crowd noise was the worst of it because it just didn't sound at all real. Now, left-hand side. Stormers are in possession here with Ben Jason Dixon, quickly used by Ntatuku Machunu, who takes it on himself. Nkura goes across to Diamani. WWE and NBA filled the arena with screens. So you people could live stream their faces watching. Now across to the right. Oh, bit of a slip there for Valimza. 24 days till Hong Kong Sevens. I did see you tried to send me something on Instagram too, Damo, and it said that it couldn't be found or something. It said like that there was nothing there to look at. So I'm not sure what happened there. February is the best for South Africa. Nice pass on the outside. Simarani has his leg chopped out from underneath him. 6 minutes still on the clock. Nkura cross to Sasha inside ball to Ben Jason Dixon. Solid tackle. The Dragons' defence. De Villiers. Diamani. Pick and go again. Dragons just have to make sure that they stay on side here. Don't give away a silly penalty. Stormers will get one more try. The game over for the Dragons, says Rudy. Now Nkura, oh, great hands from the Villiers. Oh, and now referee is going to give an offside penalty advantage to the Stormers. So literally the last thing that the Dragons would have wanted in this scenario is exactly what has happened. They'll go back for the penalty. Thomas Young, the first man who they have said was offside. They're also showing Wyn Jones, though. Right, Sasha Ngume Zulu is looking towards the touchline. There's enough time for the Dragons to blow fire and win this game. Only if they can somehow defend this. Well, that's a mistake. Sasha's just kicked for the corner and has butchered it. He has kicked the ball dead, so it will now give a 22 dropout for this Dragons team. Have a great week ahead, Hamish, says Anthony. Same to you. And come on, the Dragons, says O'Hain. I will mention we've still got 3 more live streams coming up today, ladies and gents. And the next one will be in around 4 hours' time. And that is going to be the contest taking place between Kenya and Germany in the sevens. Then following that, we've got a women's South African game up against Argentina, which is always a brilliant back and forth. And then after that, the last match of the men's, it is going to be Kenya versus Uruguay. Another drop ball from the Stormers. And they'll go back for the scrum again. Sasha Tuiga Beaver, says Ruth. I think I might have to have a nap before those 7 streams. As Stormers want a dramatic finish, show me the money, says Jason. A celebration going through the crowd as well. Sasha's mentally already at the pub with a pint, says Big Rig. But yeah, they have to be very careful here, the Stormers, because if the Dragons score again, then they're only 3 points away from sneaking the victory here, which would be the absolute last thing that the Stormers want. I sent it again, maybe because my account was set to private before. Says Dame Set Match. Maybe. Big push there from the Stormers at scrum time. Ball going away to the left-hand side. Uh-oh, bit of a slip there, but still available. Kicking downfield now, it is going to be O'Brien looking for a 50-22. He's got a huge amount of that, and it's going to just roll dead. That's probably the game now. Do you think the Black Caps lost on purpose to set up a series decider next game? I mean, if they did, I'm happy about it because I get to go to that game where it is 2-2. So it's perfect scenario for myself. How many minutes? There's Mohideen, just 2.5 now remaining. And the Stormers are going to be situated about 30 metres out from the Dragons line. A lot of Stormers supporters in the crowd, very happy with this result, although they would have thought that the Stormers were going to win it by a bigger margin. In fact, it's quite interesting. They were the biggest favourite of all of the South African teams, yet they have won by the smallest margin. Do you think William Mulder is an opening batsman? I didn't actually see how he went today, but he had some decent shots in that. Was it the second or the third one? Might have been the third. No, it might have even been the second, actually. Now, another big push. Advantage won by the Stormers. Way to the left-hand side. Dan Duplessis, another drop ball, this time from Ruanel. With by 1 point to 25, you still win, says Big Rig. And hey, a winner's win. Exactly right. They still get the full 5 points available from this game here, the Stormers. They've managed to score themselves the 4 tries for said bonus point. Got another 0 from 2 balls this time, says Xander. I don't think there would be anything sneaky about that. Sasha is the only difference between these two teams, says Fleshin. What brand of cricket bat do you use? I got a Grey Nichols. Now we got there. Sasha Feinberg and Gwene Zulu will be man of the match, says Martin. He's probably got a fair old crack of winning it, doesn't he? Now 30 seconds left on the clock here. Like I mentioned, about 4 hours until the next stream that we are doing. That is going to be the sevens. Oh, little double line out set piece there. Now 5 metres out from the line. 19 seconds remaining. Hakshiva Diamani. Told to get out of there, the Dragons. Now off to the right. We're hearing a lot of calling there from the referee to get behind the hindmost foot. Rugby Nations 26, I just entered the URC. This will be a nice one to get here for the Stormers. One last try before the end of the game. Told to use it, Diamani. Goes to Ndatuku Machunu, who almost managed to reach out and touch the line. Okay, the ball is lifted up. It wasn't over the line. Still fighting for that ball back. Ben Jason Dixon, big two-man tackle on Diamani. They force him back to 3 meters out. Now around the side. Trying to get the steal. Told to get out of there. Up to 7 phases in a row. Kids play with match grade Kookaburra balls. Yeah, normally not maybe like to the same level as the adults. That is going to be the end here. Scrum would have taken place, but that is the end of the contest. 29 points to 21. The win for the Stormers with a bonus point. The Dragons, you have to say they almost deserve to get 1 point from this game, but they do not, as they did lose by that 8-point margin. It's still a pretty close game, one of the closer games that we've seen of this round. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Hamish, is YouTube your passion or essentially full-time gig? It is my passion because it does not pay as a full-time gig would. I still have to work a full-time job during the week, normally to try and pay for the channel. We look at their Dragons themselves, have themselves to blame, says Xander. Yeah, I think they'll be happy with their performance, though. They were told that they were going to lose this game by 40 points. They were told that they were the biggest underdog up against South African sides of the weekend, and they only lost by 8. So I think they'll be happy enough with that kind of result. But nonetheless, 4 hours' time till we are back for the Sevens bonus point for the Stormers. It certainly is. So yeah, they will move up to second place in the overall standings. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all for the next one.